is everyone, Game Island here, and today we're doing top 10 Super Smash Bros. Characters. Now you may have noticed the 2.0 at the end of the video title. The reason that's there is because I have made a list like this before. Except I made the list as a top 5, and before Super Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U was released. Now that we have both of these games released, it's time to make a new version of the list. Another reason for making this new version of the list is because of how much I've matured my understanding of Super Smash Bros. And become a better player. With this newfound knowledge, as well as a new roster to pick from, I will begin the countdown. The only rule is that I will have no Melee exclusive characters. This excludes Roy, Mewtwo, Pikachu, and other characters that only appeared in Melee from the list. Anyway, with everything out of the way, let's begin the list. For some reason, whenever I say I like Falco or Fox, people will ridicule me. I mean, they're not amazing characters, but they're still pretty good. And of these two, Falco is definitely my favorite. While I don't think he is as good as he was in Brawl, he's still a pretty decently good character. I don't know if they actually nerfed him or not, but he does feel weaker. People always made fun of Wolf and Falco for being clones of Fox, which is totally untrue. Maybe not in Wolf's case, but in Falco's case, it is true. Falco is faster and more agile. While his special attacks are identical, as well as his recovery and Final Smash, he does have different attacks. He does have some different features about him, which makes him a little bit more unique than Fox. He may not be amazing, but he's still an all-around fast attacker, and does a pretty fine job at doing that. I have wondered why they put this Pokemon here and not his other fellow starters, and I'm not talking about Charizard. I'm talking about the final evolution of the Kalos region water starter Greninja. I can understand just putting in Charizard because of the fan base, but Greninja just doesn't have that same kind of praise. Despite his fellow starters missing, Greninja is still a fine Smash competitor. Similar to Falco, Greninja is all about attacking fast. With lightning quick speed and some heavy hitting moves, Greninja can be devastating. I'm sure Greninja probably deserves higher, but I'm just not good enough to put him any higher in the first place. His Final Smash is also pretty good, but doesn't always work. Greninja is very similar moving concept-wise to Sheik, who will be appearing later in the list. What makes Greninja so powerful is the speed at which combos can be performed, as well as attacking without damage given to you. Greninja is also pretty aerial with one of the best recoveries in the game, as well as a devastating down A. Greninja is definitely built with speed in mind. Dark Pit is a weird choice for me, because I originally played with Dark Pit a lot when I first got Super Smash Bros. 3DS. However, over time I gravitated towards other characters, and Dark Pit was left behind in the dust. For the time with Dark Pit, he was quite the character. However, I can't help notice that even though Sakurai said he was trying not to make any more clone characters, we still have Dark Pit, who is basically identical to Pit. We do have some different moves, as well as a completely separate Final Smash. It's not like Dark Pit is the only clone character. It just kind of burns me up that we still have clone characters in the 4th iteration of Super Smash Bros. Dark Pit as a character is very similar, made like Pit. If you know how to play the Pit, you know how to play the Dark Pit. However, I noticed Pit's Spin Blade move is hard to pull off when weakens a pretty powerful and annoying character. These changes have implications on Dark Pit because he is a clone of Pit, who is a powerful hitter with his side B being especially powerful. Other moves aren't that fast but deal reasonably damage. They're not incredibly slow, but they're not Greninja fast. All in all, a pretty good character even though I don't use him that often. Okay, now we're on to the heavy hitters. The reason I said this is because those first 3 are characters I do not play that often, and are only on a list to complete the top 10. Don't get me wrong, they're still good characters, I just don't play with them that much. The next 7 on the contrary are characters I use very often, and are pretty good at. Now these 7 are very close very far as placement goes, so I may get a good character at number 7 or 6. But don't think that means that I don't think they're okay, just that there's other characters I'm better at. Enough of the talk. Number 7 is Marth, the first Fire Movement character on this list, and trust me, there will be more. On my previous list, I put Marth at number 2, and stated how Marth was almost tied with Ike for number 1, but White won over barely. But now here in the new version of Smash, Marth does not feel as good as he used to be. I don't know if they actually nerfed him or not, but it feels like they did. Despite these complaints, Marth is still an excellent character, with powerful, speedy attacks along with sword attacks that can deal damage farther away from the enemy than most swordsmen. Marth is a deadly swordsman. In the air, Marth can also be powerful with aerial attacks that can shoot someone down like the punishing spike. Marth is also equipped with a counter which can devastate opponents with high damage percentages. Marth's recovery is also fairly decent with good range and attacking capabilities. Marth is just a very good character, even if he doesn't feel as good as any other character. I am so glad that they made Sheik her own character and not tied to Zelda anymore. Sheik is an amazing character and is similar to Greninja, with a couple similar moves like down A, as well as being a fast attacker dealing blows with speed. Now on my previous list she was number 3, but the reason she's been bumped up is because of the remaining 5 slots, 3 of which are new characters. But I'm extremely excited that Sheik is now her own character, which means she gets a new down B move, which is now replaced with the bouncing fish, an incredibly powerful move that has a ton of knockback, both for the opponent and a little knockback for yourself. The only thing missing is a counter, which I think would have been perfect for a character like Sheik. Sheik, as a whole, is a good character, and what I said about her in the previous video holds true, except that I have more experience with her now. Everyone was asking for him to appear in the next iteration of Super Smash Bros., and I can say without hesitation that I wasn't surprised by his revealing. Shulk is an amazing character to play as. With powerful heavy attacks that aren't that slow, Shulk can be devastating. With the punishing recovery for anyone who's caught in it, as well as the side B backslash, Shulk is power. His counter, titled Vision, is extremely powerful, if a bit slow sometimes. However, the defining feature of Shulk are the Monado arts, little Japanese symbols that affect the stats of Shulk, depending on what she's using. To be honest though, I never used these. You have to memorize which each symbol is, and that's a pain, and switching from one to another is frustrating. Besides, they never felt like they actually affected your attacks. It's a bit stupid and pathetic that a main character's main gimmick or ability is completely useless and arbitrary. But despite the major complaint, Shulk is an amazing character and a powerful character that deserves to be checked out. The second Fire Emblem character to appear on the list, and the character who was originally my number 1 pick from Brawl, is Ike. Ike is one of those characters who's slow but incredibly powerful. Like, people told me not to play as Ike because he's too powerful. Seriously. And then they go play as Meta Knight and still don't win. Ike's main weakness is his speed, which is understandable, but that's easy to get around. His recovery is amazing, even if it sometimes doesn't work, and it's a little hard to learn. Like Marth, he also possesses a counter, which can be extremely helpful, especially when you have high damage percentage. With powerful hits that deal tons of damage and have pretty good knockback, Ike is the way to go. The only problem is when facing against good players, Ike's slowness can drag you down and prevent you from winning. But I don't usually play against good people, so I just straight with Ike. Robin is the only non-swordsman Fire Emblem character, and even that isn't true. He possesses tomes as well as swords, which make him deadly and powerful at long range and close range. Possessing many of the tomes that exist in Fire Emblem Awakening, Robin can be devastating. He's the only Fire Emblem Smash competitor with no counter whatsoever, and is replaced with Nosferatu, a grab-like move that gives health to Robin and takes away from the opponent. His final smash is also pretty good, where he is assisted by Chrom and a final smash reminiscent of Ike's. I actually did not expect Robin at all in the game, but instead Chrom. Instead we got Robin and another Fire Emblem character who will be appearing later down the list. It may take some time to learn all the tomes, but Robin is an amazing character that you should definitely check out. They finally made Link a good character. On my previous list, Link was at number 5, and for good reasons, as he was kinda slow. But I feel like they fixed Link in this game. He attacks feel more powerful as well as faster, making it easier to rack up combos. All those tools that existed in Brawl return, and all are put to good use. With powerful smash attacks, Link can be deadly by smash attacking you relatively quickly and with ease. His recovery room for some reason feels better, but I don't know if that's actually the case. All in all, Link just feels like a better overall character. And also, his skin swaps are amazing. My number 1 character from Super Smash Bros. Is Lucina. Now you may be asking, why is Lucina at number 1 if Marth is at number 7, and Lucina is a clone character of Marth? One reason alone. Lucina doesn't attack with the tip of the blade. Instead, she attacks with the middle of the blade. I can make this segment longer, but a lot of what I said about Marth applies here because they're basically identical, except for that one piece. Except that she's also not nerfed. In my opinion, she's the best Super Smash Bros. Character in Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS, in the entire series, except she's only in Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS. Anyway guys, this has been Gaming Island, and I'll see you guys next time.